Yo, this is the Lucha Thug, the one-man Lucha gang, El Rey Gordo himself, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and y'all rocking with the Urban Wrestling Network.
Hey, yo, what up, Bodega Podcast? You already know who it is. It's one half of the sexiest Puerto Rican studs on this planet, Ortiz, baby. And shout out to all the Bodega Podcast listeners. Ow.
This is Agatha Carter, and you're watching the Urban Wrestling Network.
Oh,
stretched out. I'm good.
This is gonna be nuts. I'm not even gonna edit none of this laughing out. They're gonna hear this is the way it is. Ladies and gentlemen, what's really good? It's the OG Boricua Dandara, aka the Talk of New York. I got the baddest heel in the business. Y'all know Butcher already. Then I also got the big homie from Queens. This is my boy Macho. We're gonna give it to you supposedly at some point. Crooked is leaving work. He'll jump on here later. If not, I'll punch him in the face or something later. Gentlemen, I'm going to start with Butcher first. How are you, my brother? And are you ready to talk some Dark Order?
Always good, always smiling, never complaining. You know? It's that simple, isn't it?
It's always that simple. Macho, let him know, baby.
Yeah, man, what's up? Big up from Texas right now, holding it down in the big TX.
Texas? I thought you were just in New York.
Man, look, we travel worldwide. You know, like Titus, worldwide. I'm kidding. It's all just in the U.S. No, man. New York and Cali got, those Rona issues. So, we got to do what we got to do.
My man, the Rona started creeping up and my man hit the brakes. So, gentlemen, Dark Order. I know that. I definitely know that I'm a fan. I know Butcher's a fan. I don't know if you're a fan. But as of right now, the Dark Order is a complete flop. It's worthless. It has zero value. They've done nothing right with it. Cody pretty much just recently dismantled it. How the hell do you save the Dark Order? And I know that me and Butcher have kind of let the cat out the bag a few times on pods. So we're finally going to do this so we don't have to hide it no more. I'm going to start with Macho. Macho, how the hell do you save the Dark Order? What would you do to save this absolute tremendous flop?
Oh, man, look. I mean, you could roll it back to all the invasion angles you want. I mean, they're a big stable, dude. Like, they're not small at all. They got a lot of dudes.
So who do you know from it?
Silva, of course. Brody, rolling from his old Smash Brothers and previous Wyatt family run. Evil Uno, that's my dude. Like, the fact they didn't give Evil Uno the bag to hold and be like, listen, you're gold on the mic. He can wrestle. He can go. Like, oh man, it's so upsetting. Like, that dude should have been the go-to, right? Instead, they're like, oh, we got this dude. He's coming. And why didn't they even roll with the whole Christopher Daniels angle? Because, like, Christopher Daniels was front and center for that whole turn, right? Where they're like, oh, right? And I'm like, okay, well, then he's going to be Christopher Daniels. It's going to be basically SCU, and they're going to get, they're going to pick up that L. And it didn't even happen. It literally was just like, he came in, Brody Lee was like, bam, I'm this dude. And then that was it. And that was all I seen of the SCU. And I'm like, I don't understand. I was so lost, dude. So, I don't know. Like, you could put anybody. You could put your boy Bram in there. He can come in. He could wreck shop. He could drop a few power bombs. Break a few legs. Do whatever. You can have like a usurp angle. Anything. Listen, the dude, big homie Brody, he's legit in the ring. He's a big dude. He's a presence. I cannot take that from him. However, the dude on the mic, I don't know. He feels bored. Like, he's just like,
It's okay. It's okay to call him trash on a mic. It's okay if you want to do that.
Nah, because I don't want to run across this dude and catch a boot. So he's kind of big, homie. Like, I heard you was talking that trash though. Nah, that was this other dude. You looking at another Puerto Rican bro? Like, that's So you never know who's got a sense of humor and who doesn't. But like, his mic skills just ain't got it. So like, I don't know. I don't know if there is a fix. I don't know if they need to split it up and do the wolf pack, red and white and black and white. I don't know what they got to do, but they got to do something because dead. It's done.
And it's a shame because something that had such promise, you don't even really see Anna Jay do anything no more. Like she's just kind of designated to that YouTube series or whatever.
I mean, I watched her this week, man, and she was basically, they're still freaking, talking about Taya Conti joining the Dark Order, and she's like, Anna Jay's like, in a corner, and you see at the top of the ramp, you just see Uno pop his head out the side of the Grayson, and you're like, what's going on?
Like Grayson and the rest of them, like I guess part of me appreciates them bringing in her in the way that they want somebody to hold down, they represent them on the women's side of it, right? And she's young, she's got a lot of potential. She seems like she's growing into that heel persona really well. I appreciate that. But like they need somebody. I don't know if just Ty Conte or whatever is going to be enough because she's good too. She can go in the ring, but like I don't know if either of them got the mic skills to be able to like really sort of put that menace on the women's division for that stable. I don't know. What do you think, Butcher?
I think overall, I mean, when I look at AEW and I look at their women's division completely from top to bottom, I don't ever get this, this feeling that there's any heels and any faces. It's a proper dull division in terms of, they've been unlucky. I mean, Statlander got injured. Kong got Kong got proper fucked because she came in with that stupid nightmare thing and that stupid gimmick where cutting hair and stuff, and then she had to go and film Glow where Glow got cancelled, and then Corona hit, and then she's sitting at home and she's like, I really don't want to go back to that place, But I mean, I'd like to see Kong, you know what I mean? I'd like to see her in a valet kind of thing with Scorpio Sky, if I'm honest. But with regards to Dark Order and things, I think when it all started, Uno Grayson came out and done that sick, stone cold stunner thing, and I was like, everyone's seen their ass because all these midgets were basically round the ring, and all these little dudes, and they were making a throw. I liked that, I really did like that. I weren't going to get on that because I've never seen anything like that in wrestling before. They're making a throne for Uno. So if Uno had a throne, why wasn't Uno the top guy? They made that guy lose a shit ton of weight. He went and did all that for the company. Mm-hmm. And if I'm honest, even when you look at when they brought in Harper as the guy, the big dog type of thing, Uno was still doing all the mic work.
Yeah.
And all the hard work. Mm-hmm. Him and Grayson were still carrying the Dark Order. Grayson is awesome. I love Grayson, man. I love Grayson. I love Silver. Who's the guy that's with what's his name? With Silver?
You're talking about that
long hair.
Yeah, the long hair guy. He's not 10. He's
9. Is he 9? 6?
Yeah, actually. They're not doing themselves any favors with the numbers either, right? It's killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. I think he's 6. I want to say.
In the words of The Rock, it doesn't matter what his name is.
It doesn't matter what his name is or his number. In that case, I think I just look at it and I just think there are so many good aspects that are in this, but should it fail, what the fuck happens? Can you honestly see Silver getting a good run in the singles or the TNT? I'm going to say no. I mean, I don't think that you can look at that whole roster and go, he's going to be a success, he's going to be a success, he's going to be a success, and he's going to be a success.
Well, let me play the devil's advocate here for a second, right? Outside of the Dark Order gimmick for them, for these other guys, I'm not talking about Grayson and Uno though. I'm talking about the rest of them. where they started coming in and putting on the mask and then that whole lead up for a minute. Um, I, I feel like it kind of got them over a little bit because individually they wouldn't be over. But I think at that point, like somehow, some way, you have to connect their name to their character that hasn't been done, right? So to get them over, you need to be able to like, let them stand out on some way, on some level, and that's not happening. And then the win-loss records for AEW, which is supposed to be big, like, oh, wins and losses matters. Cool. Why aren't they cheating every freaking chance they got? Like they got enough dudes. You can have dudes coming out from under the ring and literally just holding ankles down and cheating. They should have so many wins. It should be a wrap. But they don't do any. They just come out, stand there, and then they walk back in. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? That's not how you win with numbers. What?
Yo, Macho.
I think when you look at it and you think, we can sit here as a trio and have this conversation about who you like, who you don't like. I mean, I can't stand, and I know Rob is with me on it, Colt Cabana. I can't stand the guy.
He's a boss.
Oh, no.
Colt Cabana is trash.
The man.
Macho, don't tell me you're a Colt Cabana fan.
Listen, I like Colt only because hold on. I like Colt because of his history. Okay,
What history? What history?
He's been wrestling for a minute, dude. Like the dude's been doing this for almost 20 years.
Wait. So hold on, Macho.
When I watch him though, like he makes me laugh.
Hold up, Macho.
He done it. He
does that, guys.
He smoked the big dog up.
So hold on. So you're telling me I could go find some 400-pound fat fuck that's on the independents for the last 25 years. Does that make him great that he's been wrestling for 25 years?
Can he go like what's
Colt Cabana can't go.
Yes, he can, dude.
Give me one match, where you sit back and you go, Colt Cabana had an instant classic. I just want one.
When he went with Jericho, him and Jericho went at it, and it was good. They're both pros. They really worked that match.
I think when I look at Cabana, right? When I look at Cabana and I look at Cabana, where Cabana come from, and I always go ROH. Always go ROH.
Yes.
Because of the significance of the brand, and I look at it and I look at the people he went toe to toe with, and straight away I go Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong for me is up here. Cabana's there. I just don't get him. I don't get his charisma. I don't even think Colt Cabana knows who he is. I think it's because sometimes you get these, fans, and they're a lot like some AEW marks and some WWE marks. They'll be satisfied with anything.
It's true,
but they won't challenge the product.
Colt Cabana is a bird.
I guess for me, I'm not stuck on like his persona or his what he's presenting. I'm entertained by what he does in the ring, right? Like I'm not saying I'm gonna die on a hill for him, but I'm saying like I'm at least entertained because I'm gonna be honest. At the end of the day, that's what it is for me. Like I can watch two dudes go in the ring and fall asleep. I'm looking at you, WWE and Raw for like the last 5 years. Look, when I got two great wrestlers in the ring and somehow I can still nod off, that's not good, B. Like,
all right, hold up. So, Mr. Macho, you watch Impact Wrestling, and I know we're going to talk AEW, but I got to ask, do you watch it?
Yes. Dude, okay. I watch all of it. Like, you can't. Go ahead.
Hold up. So, my question is, how do you feel about Eddie Edwards?
I can't stand that. Dude, he needs to go back to his old school. Like, I don't like him as this fucking.
Eddie Edwards is like the super white boy version of Colt Cabana.
No, it's worse because he runs around with his homie Kenny, and I'm like, dude, this is not the 90s. Listen, Tommy Dreamer did not have a good influence on this. It kills me. I'm like, no, the dude can go in the ring, put the stick down, cut your hair, get your tag homie back. I want the Wolves to come back, and I want them to make a tag division happen because like him just coming in like this drunk ass white boy, I'm just like, oh no, not this again. Come on, man, you've been running this into the ground.
Listen, Davey Richards is the Brett Favre of the Impact Wrestling world. How many times is Davey Richards going to retire? He retired 40 times in ROH. He retired 40 times in Impact Wrestling. Let him stay retired. I don't want to see the Wolves. As a matter of fact, I don't want to see Eddie Edwards no more. The same way I don't want to see Colt Cabana. And how the hell does Colt Cabana, of all people, with his goofy ass, get into the Dark Order?
I heard, right? I heard that when they left ROH, they had a trial in WWE NXT, and the trial lasted a whole 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and it was cut short by Robbie Brookside and Matt Bloom, and it was kind of like, yeah, these guys are a mess. Really? And I'm like, wow, these are like two guys from ROH that, you know, I ain't watched that much ROH building up to this, and I'm like, these guys came with so much promise, and you're just basically slinging them through the door. And I'm like, wow. And then they show up on Impact.
And when they're like 18 times tag team champions in a year.
You know?
I was there for that. I had to stomach that.
Not a fan?
Eddie knows me. He knows what it is.
Eddie knows
me.
How did you like that? How did you like James Storm doing a quick cameo in WWE for a second and then dipping back out? I was like, was that Storm?
I got no problem with Storm doing that. But I'm gonna tell you this, and we'll jump back into the AEW stuff. My team eventually got so under Eddie Edwards' skin that we were told that we can't turn our backs to him and we can't take a knee to him no more when he walked down with the belt. And that was from upper management. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, Eddie Edwards, one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
And the dude can wrestle his ass off.
How you figure?
Eddie Edwards? He can wrestle.
All right. If you watch ROH 15 years ago when he was there, it's the same match that he had. What's about to be on Tuesday, I think they wrestle, or Wednesday, whenever Impact is on. It's going to be the same match tomorrow or today that it was. How can you wrestle when I'm telling you, if you watch 15 years ago, it's the same match that you're about to watch tonight?
He's consistent. That's the Vince consistency.
This is like the Death Triangle.
Oh, dude. Listen, I was upset.
This is wrestling at its best.
It is.
You know, we're not all here agreeing. You know, I love this shit. You know, I mean, I'm never going to agree with anyone on Eddie Edwards. Or Colt Cabana.
He's a technical wrestler. I know he can wrestle technical. I don't like him as like what's that style that he's doing, bruiser or whatever it is. Like I'm not digging it. I know he can wrestle technical if he wants. When he first came on with the the Wolves, I saw a bit of that, and like you said, I seen it in RH. That's his lane. Like, I know he can do other stuff outside, but I'd rather him stay in his lane. He's gonna do it at all, right? Now,
I mean, I'm not gonna deny that at all, to be honest with you, because I will agree there that the guy is technically gifted.
Yeah.
But I think what they've done is he can't be that guy without the other guy. He's built his career around Davey Richards and himself. So when it comes to him actually being separate, and I think Impact have probably got to take a lot of the blame as well in putting him anywhere near Tommy fucking Dreamer. I really do think, in a way, it derailed his career a little bit.
Yeah, you can look at it and be like, Tommy.
I do think it derailed him a bit, but at the same time, he gained this new kind of this new Eddie Edwards, and for me, in today's kind of wrestling industry, the last thing you want to be doing is kind of going back 20 years to be a swilling Sandman, and you know.
And they even had him show up and give him
the innovator of violence.
When Sandman showed up and was like, "I saw you lost your tag partner. Here's my tag." I was like, "Really, Sandman?" Did they pay bro?
Rip his number up.
Did they pay you? Like, was this a 6-pack? We just need you to do like a 30-second spot. All right. Like, no, my God.
Really bad. I mean, I know that they've got that relationship with House of Hardcore and that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Tommy needs
to.
I'm not
talking a company.
I'm not gonna back on Tommy Dreamer too hard because the dude has all that reputation and all that history.
Of what? He has all that reputation of what?
ECW.
Okay, which is kind of like a cult classic, right?
Oh, yeah. And I was that guy during that time. I was a big ECW mark for a minute,
No, that's fine. What I'm saying is when people want to say, and I definitely want you to go in, when people want to say that Tommy Dreamer is like this massive Hall of Famer, I don't see that because he didn't do shit in Impact or TNA. He didn't do nothing in WWE. So what makes him this great superstar outside of that cult following? Which, yeah, I definitely like ECW. I'm a hardcore guy. I like seeing people get beat up. But what has he done outside of that? When you're a legend, you go elsewhere. Like, look at Sting. Sting dominated WCW, came to Impact, dominated that. You know what I mean? Like, those guys transcend everywhere they go. They're the market. Nobody ever sat back and said, holy shit, I need Tommy Dreamer on WCW. I need Tommy Dreamer on WWF. That was never a thing.
That's true. I'll give you that. I mean, like, is he living off the whole ECW stuff? Yeah, I mean, in the same way that Sabu does.
House of Hardcore off that as well.
Yeah,
because there is a huge market for that thing. There's a lot of diehard ECW fans that despise the modern day wrestling. They fucking hate it.
Yeah, but if you want great hardcore wrestling with great storylines and a mix of a plethora of talent, watch ICW.
Yeah, ICW.
CZW too. Like I'm not gonna say that it's not out there, but like unless you got a lot of money behind you, it's hard to get people to notice you, right? Like we can definitely say Impact suffers from that because they're barely holding on to a thread. Like let's be honest, when it comes to syndication, like they're barely holding on. ROH2 with Sinclair, they're barely holding on. Like AEW got smart, they found themselves a sugar daddy in Khan, right? Let's call it what it is, okay? And they're making the go, all right? And the Elite said, "Cool, no, we did our thing, we made our point, we went to get Kenny from Japan, and they made the push, and they're golden, like they really do have it, right? Is it what it could have been? No, I agree with you. Like they lost a lot of steam over the last 2 years. Like I think it was a combination of like injuries and timing and stuff like that." And I know you're not the biggest guy when it comes to their heavyweight champ. Like I know that. I get it. But at the same time, they built a tag team division. They built a decent singles division.
Wait. Can I cut you off on the tag team division?
Yeah.
So you have two of the best tag teams on the planet, and Lucha Bros, who you've done nothing with, and LAX. I don't know a tag team that was hotter than LAX. And what have they
LAX
done?
with the best. LAX coming out of Impact with the best tag team in the world.
So your tag team division, you've done nothing with. That's just my opinion. Is you did not market it, and I got no problem with SCU. I like the Scorpio Sky guy.
I think Ortiz and Santana were looking at their stats, and I hate the rankings. I think it's a load of BS.
Yes.
When I look at Santino and Ortiz, they've had more matches as singles than they have as a tag team. That's a disgrace.
That blew my mind.
I would be super pissed if I was them too. I've come to a company with so much reputation, and their reputation was earned. I always speak about this in terms of wrestling. Reputation is earned. You can't be regarded as the best in the business, and walk around with this bounce when you've done nothing.
Yep.
In terms of, I don't know. I think fans will make you the best in the world, not winning 17 world titles. If you've got 50% of say WWE Universe that like you and 50% that don't make you the best of what you do. I think at the end of the day, I've always lived by this, and I always say it. In order to be over superstar, you first need to be an over heel.
Facts.
You solidify yourself as a jackass, and then when it comes to the moment when you snap and turn, the fans go wild. And you will be remembered for that for the rest of your life.
Kenny Omega was the best heel in New Japan for a minute.
Yeah.
He was having matches with 12-year-old girls. Like he was super kicking kids. he was doing one-wing angels on fucking lady wrestlers. I was like, this dude's a beast. Why? Good Lord, he's destroying people. But people love him because he's so good. Like, yeah, I agree with you. If you can be a phenomenal heel, you're in. You're good. I think that's also the draw of the Young Bucks, because I think the Young Bucks are better as heels than they are as faces. Personally.
Young scrubs are trash.
Ooh.
I've never liked those birds. I think they're absolute
super kicks and flips.
That's it. They're spot fest, and that's it. And they look like fake ass
slap party.
Listen, they look like a fake ass Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
Wow, coming in hot. All right.
I love it whenever you call someone a Marty Jannetty. That's like a kick in the nuts. you walk into a wrestling arena like Impact, and you sit at the front row, and they walk past you, and you go, Marty Jannetty, and then turn your back.
You gave them the delete. You can call them a spot monkey. Holy shit.
My fault. No, so you were saying I completely just went over it.
That's all good. I mean, like at the end of the day, I think whether it's FTR, the Lucha Bros, I'm not gonna take the Young Bucks lunch money because they can. You may not think so, but I think they're a really top shelf tag team. Okay, they may not be the quote unquote best in the world. All right, that's a hot debate. My money's on Lucha Bros for the best in the world personally, because I've never seen them have a bad match. I just haven't.
They're phenomenal.
They're fucking crazy good. And yes, I agree. It's a complete fucking waste to not have them in that tag division. Hell, I can make a better argument for SCU being those guys because they are the business. They're consummate professionals. Their matches are solid. They can do almost anything everywhere, and both of them can cut promos. I don't know. Are you a big FTR mark or no?
No, I don't like FTR. I think they're decent wrestlers, but I think we just lost them.
I think
they're decent. I saw question marks and that was it. I think they're decent wrestlers. I just can't get behind FTR. I don't know what it is about them.
I think people like them because they feel not R, but the FTR feels like an old school sort of wrestling team, right? They're short, they're squat dudes. They come off like Arn and Tully a little bit. Like they're not Arn and Tully, but they give that nostalgia feel for that kind of old school wrestling.
Do you remember when they debuted?
Where? Because
where they pulled up in the car.
Yeah.
All right. So they come screeching around a corner like they're about to drive through that barricade and slowly stop and then walk around the barricade. Like, open the shit up, move the barricade, and let these guys look like badasses 80 miles an hour, drive up in there, and wreak havoc. Not just, and then, oh, hold on, there's a barricade. Let's chill out. Let's drive safe, 35 miles an hour, and let's walk around the barricade, not even jump over it. You know what I mean? Like, I thought ever since that point, I was like, I could care less who these guys are.
So they didn't make that good first impression. I mean,
no, I think they fell on their ass. I think I've always said when they were in NXT, that was their best work. As soon as they came up to the main card in WWE,
they fell off.
You know, and sometimes I will say it's booking. You can't always blame booking. Booking can't be that inconsistent because Vince McMahon would fucking see his ass. You know, it can't really always fall on booking on Vince McMahon. I think the thing was, with FTR and the Revival, I think they felt that their shit didn't stink. I think as soon as the hype started and they were starting to get recognised as with guys like Tully Blanchard and Anderson, they got this ego boost.
Mm.
And I think they got to the point with WWE that they really thought everyone here isn't as good as us.
Mm.
You know?
That's very possible. Yeah.
I just like you just said, when you make a debut, you're coming off a Twitter war with who people regard as the best tag team in the world, the Young Bucks. Personally, I disagree. I've always disagreed. I don't know what wrestling people are watching these days.
That's why I love this guy.
Butcher, are you a God guy? Are you Gorillas of Destiny guy? Like who's your go-to tag team?
I like anyone that's gonna fucking put a fist in your face.
Okay.
God are awesome. Kings of Catch, man.
Oh man. And listen, that's a group of guys who aren't big.
Oh,
the Kings of Catch. I'm gonna tell you now, and I say this all. See, now you got me excited. Now I'm ready. I could do ICW all fucking day. I'll put Kaylee Ray against anybody on the planet not named Viper. I think Viper is the counterpart to Kaylee Ray. I think both of them are just magic together, and vice versa. I would say the same thing about Viper. I think Viper can go against anyone in the world. I think Kaylee Ray, to me, is one of the greatest females I've ever seen in ring. I've seen, and I hate.
Who you talking about? You talking about AK?
No, not Allison Kay. Kaylee Ray from ICW. She's in she's in NXT UK.
She's amazing.
I've seen her.
If you need to watch one match, I think it was the last match they had in ICW. He's going to smile a minute. Kaylee Ray and Viper.
Oh.
What was it called? What was the name of the match called? It was almost like a hardcore match.
It was it was the Queen of Insanity match.
Unreal.
It's that match. If you watch that pay-per-view full, that match is the match of the night. Those ladies went nuts. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I could see her, like if she went to Impact.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Now that I took a quick look at her, like, yes, I know who you're talking about now.
All right. I would she could be in the X Division belt, like title, and I'd have no problem with it. You know what I mean? She's that freaking good.
She wrestles guys. She wrestled guys in ICW.
Yeah. I mean, but same.
She went
with Casey Owens.
Guys.
Remember you had Casey Owens versus Kaylee Ray, where the Kings of Catch came out and then hit her with a chair. Casey Owens with a chair. Yeah. Like these four dudes were doing like special moves off the top ropes to this lady, and it's three guys and Kaylee Ray just molly-whopping the hell out of Casey Owens. And then like the nerve, and this is one of my favorite parts, was the nerve of Kaylee Ray when she won to act like she did it dolo. Like I did this to you. No, you and your squad just jumped this chick, and not one person was like, oh my God, these guys are beating a woman. That's how great the storylining and the workability is there. Holy shit! How the hell
is she still at NXT UK?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're just. I think they took an hiatus with obviously they had the Speak Out scandal, and then they had the obviously the shit with the coronavirus in the UK. I think they've had 3 weeks of tapings. Yeah. I mean, she started her rivalry this week with
I forgot the name
again. Yeah, Piper, and I can't remember the girl's name. Dark hair. They call her the new Frost Queen.
Yeah. I just can't remember her name.
Jilly.
There you go.
Jilly. I love when that woman picks up on mic, that Scottish accent comes out, and you're like, oh shit, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You went and done it.
And it's so funny to see somebody who talks shit like that on a WWE product. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the American culture understands like some of the stuff that's okay in Europe. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch an ICW promo, some of these chicks are going nuts with their mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
be really, really good now. The fact that Drew McIntyre. I know we're going way off this now, but this is good shit.
We started with the Dark Order. We're everywhere.
The fact that Drew McIntyre is so over in the WWE right? He's like a self-made man again, and Vince McMahon must be sitting there just doing this.
Oh yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
If Drew McIntyre went, I need to bring in my people. If he brought in Kaylee Ray, right, went to the roots, went to like the likes of ICW, and he brought in some Scots, that for me would be out standing. I want to see Stevie Boy. That's who I want.
All right,
Take my money.
I'm sorry, Butch. I'm gonna get real unpopular real quick. All right.
Don't do it.
Listen, I like Drew. I like his work ethic. The dude can go. He's phenomenal in the ring. He can cut a promo. He's a top guy. I'm not gonna take that from him. Did they do it right with him? Yes, absolutely. They gave him the right matches at the right time. The timing sucked because of Rona, but they made it work anyway. He's still over. I think if there was a crowd, they'd be losing their shit right now. I'm so fucking tired of looking at his damn smug ass face. Oh my God. I want Sheamus to brogue kick him in the head.
Who?
Shit, I want Sheamus to just like, fucking give him the brogue.
Is Sheamus still part of WWE? That guy's a ghost.
Stop it. Stop it. Sheamus is the fucking truth, dude. That dude, he's one of the most decorated fucking dudes in the world. All right? He can go. Sheamus, stop it. Cut it out.
We haven't seen Sheamus in like 5 years.
He's been wrestling for a minute.
John Cena walks past Sheamus and Sheamus is on the white wall and he goes, "You can't see me." That's fact.
My man was doing movies. He was doing turtle movies. Stop clowning my boy Sheamus.
So listen, what I'm going to say, and this is the truth. Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, whatever you want to call him. You've seen him kill it with Impact. You've seen him kill it with ICW. You've seen him go back home to WWE and kill it.
He did the NXT thing for a minute. Yeah.
Drew is the truth. Like you said, he could talk. He doesn't have to look like your prototypical EC3 where they wear the suits and everything. Drew looks like an old school champ to me. He has that feel. What I would personally like, and it's rare we talk WWE, so I'm a little excited that we can actually do this because I actually like one of the guys there, is I would like for when ICW comes back and they have that partnership with WWE, if you do a champion for champion, you could obviously not have somebody win so both guys keep their belts, but to have the WWE heavyweight champion on ICW where Drew Galloway gets to come back home and do his thing, that would be my shit because I think it then puts that eye from the WWE universe on ICW, and it shows their product can stand with anybody. And I know it can. I'll watch ICW before I watch anything else. This is how we're going to convert back to the Dark Order because we went left field, right field.
That's me. My bad.
I like left field, right field, though, because, listen, you're building a network. You're building your platform. I'm building my podcast. And this is what you want to do. You want to find out everyone's niche, what they like, what they don't like, and they leave comments and you cover angles. I love how you can just kind of go.
I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, I've watched WWE for years, like everybody here, I'm sure, right? And I've done what everybody does when you're a wrestler, a wrestling fan. Like, I'll just sit and I'll wait. I just wait long enough, it'll turn back around again. Like, it's like that woman in your life that just is bad for you. You're like, if I just wait her out, she'll fucking turn around.
Mine's at work, so I'm all right.
But like, wrestling is that thing, but because WWE is the biggest fucking kid in the playground. We know this, right? And WWE can reach across the pond, all right, and completely fucking flatten competition or yank people and throw money at them and completely fuck up a territory like nobody's business. They got the Saudi money. They got all the money when they need it. There's been a rough year for everybody, but they still got deep pockets. I know they're not worried about shit, okay?
Yeah, but he won't fuck with Mark Dallas.
Probably not. That said, though,
I actually do believe, you know, if he pissed around with Mark Dallas, I actually think that Mark Dallas would pay for a plane, fly to the United States with the old IC, and I'm telling you, show up at an arena. I know that shit, man. I know Mark Dallas ain't to be fucked with.
but looking
he's a formidable guy, like.
And he comes from nothing.
But looking at like NXT UK, that wasn't a thing a handful of years ago. That's literally WWE trying their hand at the strong style wrestling scene, okay? And they're making a decent go of it. So when I look at WWE and I look at Vince, and like I know there's Vince fans out there, I'm not one of them. I think Vince needs to let it go and just hand it off to his kids, hand it off to H, and just let them do what they got to do. I just feel like he. How do I put it? When everybody
strangling the life out of something that was
yeah. Like, there's no reason why the territories can't work. There's no reason why the NWA can't work. There's no reason why MLW or any of the rest of these can't work. But when Vince is fucking with everybody's shit and nobody says shit, it makes it hard.
Vince McMahon created dirt sheets.
Yeah.
Created dirt sheets. He gave these dirt shites, I was going to say then, dirt sheets, the platform to write bullshit, right? When you're a fan and you see all these people on WWE's roster and pay list, right? You should be fucking excited because you should have the greatest platform in the world and no one should be opening any doors. AEW shouldn't exist. But when you're picking up, you're waking up in the morning and you're reading, this is bullshit. When you read Seth Rollins, ready for WWE exit, in a way you go, it's not going to happen. No. But in reality, you go, if he didn't want out, he'd be stupid.
Yeah.
You can't work in a place that's that. We don't work there. We don't know the actual facts, but we know enough people that have worked there and left and spoken facts.
You know what I'll say to that? Is I know a few talents that have worked there, and off record, and I'll never say what they told me, but what they told me, it sounded like such a toxic place that I was like,
well, Ryback said it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Ryback fan, but that dude said it.
And then the crazy part is, like, we did the pod the other day, Thea Trinidad was making, Zelina Vega was making more money on her Twitch stuff than she was making in WWE. So you got to sit back and say, damn, that WWE bag might not be as crazy as we think.
But so, like, that's my point, and that's kind of where I was going to try to bring it around real slow back to the AEW stuff.
Fault. Yeah, we're out of control over here.
It's all good. I'll hit the left turn signal. Look, at the end of the day, whether you're Hagar talking about his time in WWE or any Miro or any of the rest of these cats, they all say the same thing. It's true. You got that no complete clause for a hot minute. All right. That's the AEW fucking contract. It's ironclad. You got AEW reaching into people's pockets talking about this extra money you're making on the side.
No, WWE.
WWE. Like, all of that, that's the WWE contract, right? And everybody leaves it knowing that that's what it was, and they go in knowing that that's what it is. So you either make it big and you make enough money not to care, or you get left in the dust like everybody else, and then you got to wait months before you can work again.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the biggest hurdle for AEW, in that when they want to set something up, they got to compete with everybody looking at that big the quote unquote the pay bag over at WWE, or the chance to get a big pay bag, or they got to wait for those contracts to run out and dry out. Dude, they just let Cody use his name. For fuck's sakes. Like, how long was he the Nightmare Cody and his wife Rhodes? A minute. That's how ridiculous WWE is with these contracts. The dude couldn't use his own name. All right.
Name given to him by his mother and father.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
born with it on
when
his
you
birth certificate.
for real. So when you talk about what AEW's got to do or what the Dark Order's got to do in general, you're basically saying what can they pick up out the playground that WWE doesn't currently got their hands in, and for how long?
Can I go?
Yeah, but you got to think and I know Butcher and I'll let him go into details of what he said, and we had talked about this. If Dark Order was smart, and I know you mentioned Bram, I would love to see the Ascension guys as part of this group as well. If Brody Lee was smart, and I'm piggybacking off of Butcher's line, if Brody Lee was smart, he would look back, be like, all right, they'll, obviously creatively put the Dark Order in a match and just not have Brody Lee. At that point, the new, Dark Order comes in with the Brams or Ascension, whoever else, and they just destroy the old Dark Order. And now all of a sudden it becomes dark, like real dark, like where there's no goofy gimmicks going on, where you got people, kind of like doing what NWO did to Rey Mysterio, throwing little guys into the sound trucks and, like really just destroying people. And to piggyback off what you said earlier, if wins matter so much and I'm a bad guy group, how come we're not taking advantage of doing the bad guy things that they've been doing in wrestling for 100 years and doing whatever it's needed to win, since wins matter so much?
It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't, because like when they got matches against Janela and Kiss, and they're still losing those. When they're wrestling the Natural Nightmares and they're losing those. I'm like, how? Like literally, you've got like a grip of 10 plus dudes, all right, and a miscellaneous other fucking slew of midgets and masks that nobody knows where they're coming from. You should be winning everything.
They're not even treating it like a legitimate faction.
No,
they're really not. I mean, can you imagine the NWO back in the day having guys losing all these matches? And I'm going to pick the worst case one, and I fucking hated WWE's take on the NWO. But you got Shawn Michaels coming out with Big Kev, and he's picking on who's the weakest link in the NWO, and he super kicks Booker T straight in the face. You're the weak link here, and he does. He super kicks Booker straight in the face, and this is it with when you say like they're losing matches left, right, and center, and surely as the big guy, you would be like, well, you're a weak link. Hell, he was coming out and he was losing his shit with Colt Cabana, and for costing him a match, and you kind of like certify yourself.
Yeah.
You really don't want to lose this faction, because when you go on the forums, you see how crazy people are for this faction. I'm Dark Order, I'm in Dark Order, and when you look at the logo and everything to do with that, it's a fantastic design. It just needs a bit of TLC, but Cody Rhodes is too freaking interested in a belt that ain't finished, and it never will be finished, his own ego, and
I don't think Cody
putting a fucking white suit on.
I don't think Cody even plans to stick with wrestling for very long anyway, because he's talking about going into politics. So I don't see the point. I feel like it's a waste. I feel you guys are right. Like, it's ego for Cody. And so why, if you're not even interested in wrestling in the next 5 years, why are you so invested in this idea that you should be the top guy? Like, it
doesn't need him, does it? Let's be fair.
Now, granted, the fans love him. He has his fan base, but that's not enough. Like, you got to think about the AEW as a whole. You have to look at your roster and go, who needs to get over, and how does this thrive in the long run, right?
I think Rob said it best, though.
So Macho,
what up, the Playboy Cody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't.
So Macho, I must say, what Butcher said the other day, and when I think it was the last show we did, he was saying with Cody Rhodes, I'm trying to word it the right way so I don't downplay it. He said that the TNT title is the most prestigious title in the entire industry. Can you imagine if you owned AEW, right? And you're sitting in the back, you're Macho Khan now, and you're like, what the fuck did he just say? So now the belt that Jon Moxley's holding is less important than that belt that has no credibility. It looks horrible. People have been shitting on it since it first came out. It has no build-up. You've not had one great match underneath it, and you're saying that that belt is now more important than your top prize, where you just gave Jon Moxley the bag.
Yeah, that's. Look, I can't live in Cody's head, right? Like I can't know what he's thinking half the time. The thing that stuck out for me this last year was when he lost to the Dark Order and he lost his belt, and then he comes back wearing a black suit with his dark hair, and he's like, "Oh, they said I should make a darker turn or that, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm here with the fans, this, that." I'm like, but that's wrestling, dude. Like, take that dark turn, enjoy that story. Like, you know, why is your personal brand more important than everything else?
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like some parts of it is like when you watch like Being the Elite and this, that, and the other, I feel like it really is three guys. That's Kenny and the Young Bucks and everybody else. Because what's his name should be a title holder and he's not.
Hangman Page?
Hangman Page. Absolutely. They should have thrown the strap on that dude from the rip. And I understand that they wanted to give it to Jericho for reasons. You know what I mean? Like,
I got no problem with that.
I got no problem with that. But right after that, Page should have been number 2. All right, he just should have. Because that dude literally bleeds, eats, sleeps, and breathes the industry. You could tell he's serious about it. He's about that. They tell him, you're an alcoholic this fucking year. He's an alcoholic. You're part of a tag team this year. You're part of a tag team.
They should have had the ultimate turn of Page when they were calling him an alcoholic. He should have had a bottle of whiskey in his hand and just smashed it around one of their heads.
Yeah, absolutely. But like what they do is they tease the split of the Elite and then they don't. It's like they dangle it and then they're like, oh no, the Elite, and then they're like, oh, everything's good again. And I'm like, don't waste our time. If you're gonna go with that
WWE storyline being used again, that's the only way that I can sum it up. It's got a big build and then it falls flat on its face.
Listen, all I'm saying is Kenny Omega better take that belt off of Jon Moxley at the next pay-per-view. And if wins and losses matter, and I'm going to go back to that, and I mess with Kingston. I love him as the big homie. How the hell does Kingston get to be the next person in line to fight Jon Moxley?
Twice.
Since wins and losses matter, how did he move up the ranking system to take that spot?
The thing is, right, is they won't admit it. They won't admit it, but they're making that many mistakes right now, AEW. And you can't go into these AEW groups. I will, because I don't give a fuck. I mean, I just kind of like speak how I want and the way I want. And I challenge them to kick me. But they don't kick me. They don't kick me. Because, I mean, when you actually read what I put, there's truth in it.
Yeah.
I ain't going in there trolling people and calling people pieces of shit. But when you look at it, right, and you go, you look at what we're saying here, there's a lot of truth in the fact that AEW started strong, continued to push. They pushed that far so quick, they've run out of runway.
Yeah.
They're at the point now where they're going, okay.
What do we do?
What do we do with the rankings? Because we can't continue with the rank. You can't continue with them. I mean, seriously, do you reset every season? Is that what we're talking about?
They'll reset every season.
They're treating it like Call of Duty, man.
Mark my words, they will reset it every year. They'll find the pay-per-view where they'll have it, and then they'll reset the rankings all over again.
You know what I'm gonna do later when we finish this? I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna create myself a nice little like, Call of Duty thing with the ranking system, and then I'm gonna have, at the end of the season, you win a prize like you normally would, like a stylish gun or something like that, but you win a new version of the TNT title every season. So I'm gonna add like, I'm gonna start my own TNT title, and I'm gonna start adding little things to it. I mean, come on.
Something occurred to me just now. I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner, but if I was gonna ask one dude to like redo the Dark Order, I know who it would be, and you actually might get a kick out of this. Marty Skrull. Like,
yeah, but he's got that legal issue.
Skrull is walking well. Part of the scandal. I think there's a decision to be made within the next month or so. They're going to release him. They have to release him.
They have to release him because, like, okay, they brought there's a bunch of cats who came out of that with some smudge on them, right? Austin Theory was one of them, and a bunch of dudes, and even your boy Guevara got a little smudge on him because of his timing was shit, but it didn't matter. And they're like, you need to take the Fifi's test and like get some counseling or whatever. Look, he's a young cat. I'm not surprised he just decided to open his mouth about stuff. Does that mean he needs like a 48-hour, 72-hour?
I think it's quite sad. I think it's quite sad that they need to go that far back in history, and things like that. I mean, listen, when you're a young guy, you are gonna say. I mean, I know I've said some shit to women. Growing up.
Yeah.
It's life. It's like you make mistakes and then you live by them.
Listen,
the guy who's making money, he's trying to pay their bills. If he had children, he's trying to bring up his kids. That don't make 10 years on. That don't make him the same person.
No.
And then people want to blacklist the guy, and I'm like, fuck, seriously. In this current state in the world we live in now, you're gonna see your ass about, go fishing for Sasha Banks.
God forbid I ever get famous like that. Macho, you know me for about 30 years.
Mm.
Half the crazy-ish that I've been involved in or said to some people or I'm done.
Don't get famous.
I'm done. Like 5 minutes after that, they're going to be like, he's finished.
Don't get famous. I've seen things personally. Like, I can't talk about these things, but I've seen things in person.
Let's throw a lot of allegedlys.
Sorry. Allegedly, I have seen things that I can't talk about with Chef over here that would get him in a lot of problems. Don't be famous. Don't get famous. You're going to get caught up in the dragnet so fast, your head's going to spin.
That's it right now. People are like using the reverse psychology. Yeah, get this guy famous. We want to know his stories.
Start liking everything. Let's get him arrested.
Who knows this guy? Twitter.
Oh man. And like I know so many people we both know at the same time who probably listen to this. I can't even name names. Like I just can't do nothing. I can't talk about any of this. It doesn't like it's all moving on badly. So Marty Skrull, right? So Marty Skrull, anybody like him, not even just him, but like you want a guy who's got that pedigree, who's got charisma, who fans love and get behind. The dude's branded, right? Who wasn't rolling with a Villains Club shirt for a minute? Like, come on, man. The dude's legit. His own.
See, I wrote down a few names earlier on that if I was going to build a Dark Order and I was going to build it around the leader, and and I know some of these are under contract with other companies, but for how long, I do not know. Alistair Black. Alistair Black would be the perfect leader, man. Give him that Tommy end. Let him bring in Thomas Latimer. Let him bring in Connor. Let the orb shine in the corner of the arena. I'd like to see him sign Stevie Xavier, a.k.a. Stevie Boy. Rosemary from Impact. I think she'd do that justice. And Brody King.
Ooh.
Brody King. That's badass, dude.
When you said Tommy End, that I'm with that. I think he's one of the most misused guys in the industry. I love that list I'm just gonna
That
co-sign
could
on
be
both
that,
your lists.
that could be AEW's equivalent of the Bullet Club, right?
Yeah.
That there is a faction that ain't gonna go away. You can turn up in someone's backyard, and straight away, it's like these fuckers mean business.
Butch,
Facts.
Butch, I don't want to I don't want to take any gas out of your tank a little bit, but we're talking about AEW here, right? So the problem is AEW itself to some extent, and like I recognize, like how do I put it? Whether it's ICW, CZW, or anything, like when grown-ups watch wrestling, you can do what you want. But when you're trying to market politics and you're trying to market social ideas, you're gonna really kind of look talking about Guevara and all the rest of that stuff. You're gonna hamstring your options as a company. All right, and I feel like anything that's truly dark that could be messy like that, which would be amazing, I do not think AEW would let get very far or do what it needs to do.
Well, why not? Because if I'm owning a company, at this point, you're hoping if you're trying to say demographics, I'm hoping the Dark Order hits a demographic of like the emo goth kids or the rock kids. I'm hoping they touch them. Then I want to make a Spanish group with Kingston and LAX and Sammy Guevara, so I got the Spanish community. And then I want a pretty boy group where, the pretty boys want to, be wrestlers. You have them. Then you got the hot girl group. Then you got the mean girl group. If you're smart, you try to hit all demographics.
It's like LOS in Japan. It's like the Naito. Covering Mexico, Japan, and now they've got the North American group starting.
Fucking love those dudes.
Cover your angles. Cover your areas in the territories. You're not covering territories now. You're covering regions.
Yeah,
you're covering them parts of the world.
Naito is a good example. Like the rest of those Los Ingonobles guys, that's a really great example of a really well put together faction. Like legit. I feel like they're solid. They can roll. They can separate. They can pair up. They can do whatever they want. You got Evil. You got the rest of those dudes. Like that. That is how you put together a stable. I feel like they're great. That's like a great blueprint. But like Japan is serious when you got adults enjoying that show. They're not worried about kids. And I feel like AEW is worried about kids. They're worried about being PG light. They're worried about...
Me and Rob spoke about this. They're in that thing now, aren't they? Where they're watching I don't think they know where they want to be yet. But it's going to come that point where they're going to turn that corner. Tony Khan's a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and Tony Khan can't sustain doing what they're doing with Tony Khan's money. There's going to come a time where Tony Khan's going to go, I need to find some corporates.
Yep.
And when they go into that corporate area, shit's going to change. People are going to start talking, yeah, but how many t-shirts you selling to kids? I don't know. Or 5%. 5%? You should be going 50%. Where's your version of John Cena? We ain't got one. You have now, Kenny Omega.
Like, I think there's two big factors with AEW. And I think the Dark Order is a really good sort of like litmus test to explain why they got to make these hard choices, right? The Dark Order isn't that dark. It's dark light. It's diet dark. It's diet dark. It's like the fucking tab of darkness. And sorry. But
I love it. Like, they operate with the lights on.
There's stevia in their fucking dark, whatever. Fucking they're counting calories. But when I look at it and I'm like, okay, do you really have this really dark ass faction? And they're like the Dark Order. I'm like, but is it? Like, to you guys' point, you got Colt Cabana, you got a bunch of fucking fun people. Like, it's not that dark. They're not leaving people.
I can't stand the fact that name keeps coming up. Every time you say Colt Cabana, I get frustrated.
I'll tell you another guy that could do it, and he exists within AEW already.
And
as a leader, because he's got that ability to just turn anything around. And it's Cody's brother.
Well, that's not a bad one.
You know, it's Cody's brother. When you go back and you look at some of them, a lot of them have been shitty, right? You go look at 7 in WCW. Yeah, it fell on its ass, but that was some spooky shit, dude. He was talking about hiding under kids' beds and everything. You know, you go look at his what was his gimmick in TNA with Relic?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. That was should
Yeah.
go
You
way
know,
back.
but I mean, ignore them. Just look at his gold dust thing from the nineties
it could start.
all the way through.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
If
creepy.
you'd have painted that guy, put that guy in a black suit, he'd have fucking. You know, a lot of people can say Undertaker. You know, Undertaker was the fucking man and will always be the man. But Goldust, from a you know, from an unnerving point of view, wasn't because he's kind of, you know what I mean, all that shit. That guy was he was the shit.
I'm gonna tell you,
Know?
Goldust. If I ever seen him in the street, we're fighting on sight because he made me nervous. Like I was like, I don't know what this guy's intentions are, but if I seen Goldust in the street, we're fighting off rip. Like he wouldn't even have to look eye to eye with me. We're throwing hands because he made me nervous. Like he's a weird looking dude, and you know the whole all that weird stuff that he was doing. Yeah, I remember sitting there like, yo, this guy's fucking weird. Like, and we would laugh like, oh man, if we ever seen him, we jumped this guy. You know what I mean? But like, he was a bugged out dude. Another one that could do it is my boy Rob Rising, who's in that whole, sadist masochist thing and everything else. Dude is legit.
Havoc.
Sammy Callahan?
No. The fucking
don't say Jimmy Havoc. They gave Jimmy the boot.
Jimmy Havoc.
What?
They gave
No.
He was in,
What?
he was part of that speak out thing.
He was proper naughty as well. I mean, he openly said he did it. To the point where they put him on sick leave because he said that he'd gone into this deep depression.
Yeah,
and it was making him physically harm. I mean, listen, I am never going to argue with mental health. Mental health is a fucking horrible thing, and it does make you do. It can. It doesn't make you, but it
messes with
that
you.
there does not work the way that it used to. But yeah, he failed the lie detector test.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even take it. He just took the truth test.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I did all that. I'm guilty.
It's a shame. It's a shame because
I love Havoc.
When you watch Jimmy Havoc stuff in the UK, whether it was Progress, whether it was ICW, that guy was CCW. That guy was awesome. He had everything that. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with him, mate, saying that he could have done it because he could have done it.
Mm.
I mean, look at that match. I think it was a couple of years ago, Fear and Loathing, when he teamed with Mark Haskins to the tag gauntlet for the briefcase. Holy shit.
Dude.
There's a guy that will do something just because he loves to hurt himself.
But see, like, this is all right. Listen, I'm not going to sign off on people being terrible people, right?
We're not saying he's terrible people. He admitted it.
I'm covering shit. I'm covering my business. Like bad people do bad things, right? That's the most like broad statement I can make, but and not get myself in trouble. All right. But the truth is, like when you're trying to build something like a federation or a league or a brand, all right, if you didn't have the forethought to, like, if it's important to you to be socially conscious, if you didn't have the forethought to get that all out in the front beforehand, like, what it really speaks to the idea that they're not thinking 5 years, 10 years down the line. They're not doing it. All right.
Yeah, how much homework can you really do on some of these guys like that?
Excuse me, sir. Have you inappropriately?
Yeah. And what am I going to do? Listen, I tell people, and I'll end it with this. I tell people all the time, one of the best jobs I've ever had was a doorman on Fifth Avenue. And the boss, I can't say his name. I did sign one of those non-disclosure things. So when he's interviewing me, my Uncle Jerry got me the job. He was like, yo, like, just go in there. They'll get you the job. They know you're good people. He knows my Uncle Jerry. He's cool as shit. So I go in there. I got the suit on and everything else for my interview. And the guy keeps looking at me. He keeps saying, there's something off about you because you're not the person that I think you are sitting across from that desk. And I'm like, I'm just a happy, smiley guy. I jump on the R train going to work one day. I get on 46th Street and Northern Boulevard. I put the headphones on. It's only a few stops to Fifth Avenue. I'm sitting there and I start rapping some Wu-Tang shit. I don't know that my boss and his wife are on the train. So they're sitting there and I'm dropping N-bombs, F-bombs. Some dude comes on the train, shoulder bumps me. I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you shoulder bumping? Like, I'll smack the shit out of you. My boss is still right here because we're both getting off on Fifth Avenue. I just don't know it. So I'm talking crazy. This guy's looking at me and I'm like, yo, we get it. We get it. And he's like, nah, my bad, B. Blah, blah. I'm like, all right, this what's up. Like, I'm not trying to be a gangster or nothing. I'm just letting you know, don't touch me. I get off on Fifth Avenue and I'm like, all right, time to get my rich people swag on. I take my headphones off. I start walking, it's a nice little smile. I get to the red light. I'm sitting there like this. My boss is like, and I'm like, what's up? And he was like, what's up on the train? And I was like, what train? He was like, I was on the train where you were cursing, saying the N-word, wanted to fight the guy. I knew you weren't the guy that I hired. And I was like, well, you hired me, and technically, I didn't see you on the train because no one seen me there neither. So he was stuck with me until I decided to leave. But yeah, no, I got into some stuff there, got into a fist fight. It was hilarious. Good job, but man, that was fun. Gentlemen, I'm a nice guy. Gentlemen.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Look, I just, in closing, I think I want to say they need to go to 3 hours. They need to get their head out their asses. They need to put some time into the factions and make a go of it instead of fucking.
Would you honestly sit through 3 hours? Because I tell you now, I wouldn't sit through 3 hours of AEW at the minute. I couldn't. I really couldn't, because to me, until they actually identify what they actually want to do with 50% of that roster, I just see the same stuff every week.
That's real. That's real shit.
Because when you look at Dark and you look at Dynamite, Dark, they're using basically the only way I can explain Dark is if they're using it as a territory. They're using it as a development thing to see who pulls it off, who moves forward. Look at Will Hobbs. Terrible record in the rankings, but he's made it. He's done it. The guy's over now. He's solidified. He's got a contract, everything. There's a lot of people there that, for me, I'm never going to say no one is big enough in terms of size, but they've got a lot of small, short people on that roster. Now, that's not a reason to basically not push someone. We've seen that with CM Punk. CM Punk wasn't short, but he didn't have the physique you would expect that at that current time, because Vince was like a meathead guy, wouldn't he? We need to put the belt on size, not ability.
Yeah.
And that's what I look at with AEW, and I just think a lot of people look at it and they think, it's amazing product, and I'm not going to deny that. But do I see it? Currently, I'm already at the point, and Rob's like, oh, he's gonna go. I'm already at the point where I'm like, it is going WWE, and people are gonna listen to this and they're gonna go, oh, you didn't. I did, because I watch New Japan. Rob doesn't watch New Japan. I watch ICW. ICW was fresh every week, every month. Because it covered the whole of the United Kingdom. And the United Kingdom, the amount of wrestlers in the United Kingdom is phenomenal. When you're fixed to one promotion in the United States, you can't go nowhere else. If the business was nice, and every person had a contract where they could just travel around.
Oh,
It would be amazing for the business.
Okay, quick aside, because this is something that's been fucking really working me. Independent contractors are wrestlers. Why not just let them cross promote and do what they want to do? Like, I don't.
no, listen. If you're WWE, I get it, because why am I gonna let my stars go somewhere else, possibly get hurt, and I only want them on my brands because I want to make them exclusively, so you can only watch them with me.
Counterpoint. Counterpoint. You're not paying for their medical though. You're not giving them a fucking medical plan. So who are you to say where
That's their problem. That's their problem. They signed a contract. They know what it is.
Either they're independent or they're not. Like, I mean, like I don't agree with this whole like.
That's one of the things that CM Punk and Ryback strongly hit on, was they were that fucked up medically.
Yeah.
Like
we were like, well,
yeah.
You know, you've signed on the dotted line here that you were gonna, you know, basically do this storyline for the next 4 months. We can't change that shit now.
And not just that, but when you think about it, if you're not a CM Punk and even a Ryback to an extent, or anybody who's over, who's getting a good a fat purse, you get hurt. What are you living on? How do you pay for that medical?
Listen, this is why I tell people who are industry. I know a lot of wrestlers. I tell them all the time, know your value. Don't sign shit because you think you're going to get something out of it. Now, the one thing WWE does, you got to understand, you get on video games, you get action figures, there's opportunity for you to be in movies. Your social media platforms fly out the ass, but you need to market yourself after that. Use that WWE platform. A lot of them just sit back and, you know, they just think, oh, I'm WWE, whatever.
But
you got to keep promoting you.
Chef, what happens when you get hurt doing that? Like, look at all the wrestlers this last year who got hurt and have been on the shelf for months and aren't making that big bag money. All right. Like, you can't market yourself when you're hurt. And WWE is now dipping their fingers in that, going, yeah, all that third party money you're making to pay your bills, that's ours too. Like, yeah, I can understand.
That's why you don't sign those contracts with them. You have to understand your value, and you do have to think long term, because yeah, wrestling is fake, 1000%, but the moves are real. So yes, it's choreographed. But if I take any of you and I DDT you, which is a normal basic move now in wrestling, if I by accident twist too much and I plant your face or your head on the floor and I bust your shit, that's not my problem.
Dude, remember when Cena got his nose busted open by Seth Rollins and that straight knee? That shit happens, okay? Like, the dude looked like burger meat. It happens. But Cena's got deep enough pockets to be like, I'm gonna be out for a month, get that plastic surgery, be back and good to go. Okay?
That was the greatest fucking thing I'd ever seen. I was like, yeah!
Karma.
I've never marked out so much for an injury. I was like, damn! Holy shit! He looked like he'd been punched in the face by Mike Tyson.
Here's what I'm saying. Like, because this thing has come and gone for years. Unionization, whatever you want to call it. Okay, either
that's exactly what Thea Trinidad basically said. She stands for that.
Well, look at Paige. Actually, Paige is the best example. This girl cannot wrestle right now. Okay, she can't. All right.
Thank you, Sloppy Banks.
The point is, she can't do nothing but be on Twitch or whatever it is that she's doing right now, and the occasional bone they throw her. She can't fucking be out for as long as she's been out.
But you know what the difference is? Paige was smart. Paige, she got her opportunity. God bless her. She shined. And I'm going to tell you now what Paige literally should do is find somebody who wants to come up with a clothing line, do a Paige clothing line, start doing all these little things while she still has her, while she's still popping, while she's still doing her Twitch stuff. Right now, Paige has to market Paige. Hey. And if WWE says, fuck you, no, fuck you.
Female leader of the Dark Order. Why not?
Oh, my God. and she doesn't even have to
Why
get
not?
in a ring. Let her talk her shit.
That's
But
it.
she's still under contract with WWE. She's not wrestling, but she's still under contract, so
Yeah,
she
but
can't step
listen,
out.
If I don't know
I
how
reckon she could get. I reckon she could get out with that contract if she
Oh, yeah.
needed to.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
She's only gotta talk some shit about how much money she's making on Twitch. You know,
Either that,
she's
either
only got to
that-
scream unionization.
Either that, or she can go back into the bag and be like, "Hey, you fired the other guy that was on that tape, but the other guy, because he was a moneymaker, you kept him. So you didn't give a shit about my mental health because the person that was there that pretty much destroyed me mentally, you kept him in my face." There have been times where she's interviewed him on that Fox thing or whatever, and if she wants, I'm pretty sure she can get out like that. Injuries are going to happen, and at this point, you need to know your value. If WWE is going to hold me hostage where I can't make my other money outside of that, and they're no longer doing house shows, why would you even sign there? Unless you're an AJ Styles or, somebody who's going in where the plan is me being a top guy. If I'm not going to be pushed into that top, just say 20 people. If I'm not part of that top 20, I don't want you.
Okay, counterpoint. These younger cats and the guys in developmental and the not top below mid-tier guys who are trying to make it into mid-tier, they're looking at trying to grind out on the indie scene, which is non-existent right now. Not really, because COVID's fucked everything. So you're looking at not making money, okay, or making any kind of money because WWE is willing to throw 30, 40K, whatever it is at you, just to fucking have your name and keep you out of someone else's pocket.
You know what your problem is? If you're an independent guy and you're not using social media to your advantage, then you're messing up your money. I'm gonna tell you that now. I interview guys. I just did King Fatboy Papo Esco, and I told them I love when I get wrestlers who I talk to, and I always say the same thing because I want them to say what I want them to say for independent people or people in this business. If you have a cell phone, that's all you need. Start shooting yourself working out. If you're a dude that's in great shape, you know what? Put a little fucking banana hammock on by the poolside, whatever. Show your muscles, oil yourself up, market yourself because sex sells. If you're a female, listen, you don't got to do much. Social media people are going to jump all over you. And if times are really rough right now and I have any name, I'll throw the piece on OnlyFans. I got no problem throwing the hammer on OnlyFans. Like, yo, ladies, if you want to see what I'm rocking with, $19.99, $29, whatever the hell the cost is, I don't know what it is, and I'll throw my shit on OnlyFans if I really need that money. At this point, there's so many media outlets for you to grow your brands. You take advantage of it. If you don't, you're your own problem. You're your own enemy.
Yeah.
I think I ended that one pretty well.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, as a matter of fact, Macho, what social media you want to plug?
I'll plug my my other media. So when I'm not marking out talking about wrestling like a wrestling nerd. I'm talking about things like comic books, movies, and stuff like that over on Geek of the Week podcast, where we talk about comic books, comic book movies, everything in between. We talk about the Netflix series, everything Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, you name it.
Oh, hook me up. Dude, that's all film me all day long.
We
comic books, toys.
We interview artists, writers, actors, you name it, doesn't matter. We get into like that. That's over at Geek of the Week podcast. You can find us on iTunes and a whole host of other. My social media people are going to kill me.
You know what? Send me the link and I'll put all your stuff. Just send me each link and I'll put it in the description on here of everything at the top.
Cool. And we got another podcast coming up because Lord knows I'm not going to say nothing about Zack Snyder and his bullshit with the recut of fucking Just Us League. But yeah, you want to yell at me personally? Also, at Geek of the Week, just give me a shout. Get mad at me. Your DC mark or Marvel mark. You want to get mad at me. That's fine. You're all suckers.
Hold on. Whoa. let me ask you a question because we might have problems. Joaquin Phoenix Joker, what'd you think?
I thought it was fine.
Fine, it was fucking glorious.
Settle down. Look.
That's how you do it, man.
You know what? I want to be on a Joker podcast.
I'll argue all day when it comes to Joker, right? Joker was created on many, many faces. You know? No one can argue who the best Joker is because there are so many different versions of the Joker.
All right, I'm always gonna live and die on fucking Jack Nicholson, who would just put it down. Okay,
you know
everybody
what? I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree and go with the King Caesar Romero. That's who I'm gonna roll with.
I mean, I feel you on that. My man's got a white paint on his mustache. It's all good. Look, you got fucking Batman doing the bad Tuesday. That's old school. I respect it. But at the end of the day, that Joker movie, there's no way they spin that out or connect that in any way to anything else. It literally it was a one and done. It was a great.
It's not a one and done. They're already thinking about 2 and 3.
Stop! No, stop it. All right, that's a cash grab, and
wait. Hold on, so we don't flip this too crazy. When you do a Joker show on the podcast, you have the Geek of the Week. I want in on that because I'll jump into the waters and be on an island
when they announce the second one.
yeah. I want in.
Sure. When we start seeing the casting for the second one and it gets official and they got a writer director or something like that, I'll bring you on. We'll bleed you out on the hill. It's fine. All right. We'll drag you out back, beat you around a couple of times, put you back in the chair, let you get a sip of cup of water. All right. You can live and die on this one. Don't worry. So much love. Thanks for having me on this. I would love to do it again. Let me know.
Absolutely.
All right, Butcher, it's been fun. My brother. Hey, look, let everybody else do their thing and then their shout out, figure out what everybody's social's at.
Butcher, let them know how to find everything MWWO.
MWWO. They don't want to find me. I find them. You can get me on Twitter at MaximumWW Order. And you can't find me. He's going to ban me again. He's done it again. You can get me on Facebook at Maximum Wrestling World Order. Don't look for the World Order podcast one because for some reason they keep pulling me down. I don't know why. They started again, and then 2 days later, Facebook shut me down again. Listen, hey, Mark Zuckerberg, you working for the other guys? The guys that ain't Maximum, they shorten their name to MAX. I'm talking to you.
So listen, on behalf of both my guys, I'm going to tell you it's www.urbanwrestlingnetwork.com. They have the Facebook page. Both Twitter and Instagram is the same at Urban Wrestling Network. For myself, I have the longest name now because I wanted to be original and get my own podcast thing. It's going to be OG_Boricua_Dandada, the realest motherfucker you ever seen. Ladies, I shouldn't even said that. I might shotgun myself.
I like it. I like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the big three right now, because this has became the dream team of podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Let me hit this record.